Yep, so Alpha's ready. I think Alundra's going to be ready. Yep, alright, so game number 1 today is Alundra versus Alpha. And we've got what looks to be in Egypt from Alpha versus Babylon from Alundra. So this will be an interesting match because both civs do have a little bit of an inclination towards the cavalry, particularly Babylonian. Because they've got those lances, they can actually fight good fights against spearmen. Whereas, whoops, wrong screen. Yeah, whereas other civs, because their H2 cavalry isn't built to fight against infantry, spearmen are just a hard counter basically. So, spawning as player number 1 today, as the blue Egyptian player, we've got AlphaLeopard in the bottom corner of the map. And spawning in the top corner of the map today as the red Babylonian player, we've got Alundra. So, guys, give it up to these two guys because AlphaLeopard represented himself in the last beginners tournament, Beorix's Brawl, and he's just doubling up basically. That all sort of actually wrapped up last weekend, or weekend before last, might have been last weekend. Oh, what's going on here? It's just frozen. Oh no, guys, please. No. No. Please, no. Oh. Ah. Yeah, oh, that's a bit of a bugger. Okay, well, it looks like Alundra's actually dropped out. We'll be back. I'll just invite Alundra again. Yeah, it's really not going very smoothly today. I've had show matches go easier than this. I'll just kick Alundra quickly and we'll just re-invite him as soon as he reconnects. He'll only be a minute, I'm assuming. Yeah, so just bear with me a sec, guys. Alundra unfortunately dropped out midway through the game, or right at the start of the game. Thanks for the follow, Evelyn. Yeah, so we're going to see if Alundra gets back online. I'm sure he'll be rushing to get back into the game. Poor bugger. Just as I was about to do a big spiel about Alundra stepping up for the first time, for his first competitive game, so to speak, you know. So, big props to him for that. Oh, I've got mail. I got mail. You got mail. So we're gonna hand in the daily, sell that off, get our Empire points. Yeah, buddy. Oh, the ship doesn't stay. Oh, that's sad. Okay, so Alundra now is probably timed out properly. I'll see. This poor bloke. But yeah, just bear with me a sec. Oh, that's another one you could probably chuck down on that list. Yeah, just bear with me a sec. Because Alundra shouldn't be too far away. Here we go, he's just reconnected. So, yeah, we'll get this one back underway. I can't even remember how I have to play colours set up. Doesn't really matter, it's only best of 1. So, basically, if Alundra drops out again, I guess we'll give it one more try. If he drops out again, then I guess we'll give AlphaLeopard admin win. But hopefully, we're not going to come to that. Fingers crossed, guys, because I don't want to miss out on any of the action today. And I've actually messed up the player colours because I've got Alundra spawning on the bottom side as the blue Babylonian player. So we'll go here. Nah, well, I don't want to bring in Hurry now just because he didn't really sign up, so I'd just rather stick with the sign-ups if they're all here, rather than like chopping and changing just to get games in today. So spawning as the Babylonian player, blue trunks today for Alundra, and he's going with an early barracks. AlphaLeopard spawning as the red Egyptian player, these snazzy red trunks. He's on the storehouse already. So we're already seeing a much more aggressive opening here from Alundra. And I like this. He's getting the second ox cart. He's already on the hunt. He's taking the barracks. 5 villagers on the hunt too, which is good, because that's really all he needs. He can go straight back on the wood, which he's doing. AlphaLeopard in the meantime. Some nice play here too from him. A lot cleaner than his early games in the last tournament. And he's open for the barracks, after the storehouse. So this is also quite a fairly standard sort of way to play this here. Both players getting the early barracks out quite quickly. Alpha's just that little bit later, but it's not a huge delay. He just needs to look at getting that storehouse out, but here we go, he's onto the storehouse now. So looks like both of these guys have really cleaned up their play in the past couple of weeks, which is great to see. So I'll be interested to see how well they can actually go at affording continually pumping out units with builds like this, because that's where the challenge is just how do you perfectly balance getting the spears out you need to get the pressure you need on the map, whilst also getting the quick age 2, the second town center follow-up, whatever unit transition follow-up you want to do behind that ready, and potentially go for all this fish. Yes, each one of these is 1,000 food, so neither of these players is going to want to pass this up. But in saying that, Alundra has gone for his early spearman. He's really early spearman. And AlphaLeopard only just now getting his first one out. Alundra has already got 3 out on the field. No, 4 actually. He's just all out of... Oh, here we go. He's got the gold. Perhaps a little bit late on the gold, because that's why I think he was delayed. Oh no, he's just housed. Never mind. I take that back. There we go. So he's getting all the spears out. He's actually got almost... Yeah, here we go. He's going to have even numbers if he backs out and then re-engages here, which is going to be really, really good for the Babylonian player, because they've got this lovely 60 cost spearman versus a 45 cost spearman. So 1-to-1, Babylonian spearman absolutely win that trade any day of the week. But in saying that, AlphaLeopard has obviously got the quicker reinforced path, because he's only got to wander this little distance here. So especially if at any point the players have a break in production, that's really going to come in handy for Alpha. But Alundra has actually backed off and is going to try and go for the villagers over here on the wood line instead, because the spears are all going to have to charge back to try and deal with this. They are going to clean up one of these spearmen, and Alpha has actually tidied this up without too much hassle. Alundra is going to try and go for the hunt now, but Alpha has already got those 2 spears here to defend. So Alundra, early aggression, not getting a lot of damage out, really. He's lost a spearman already, going to lose another 2 spearmen, I think. Maybe even all 4 of these. Oh no, he's going to slip 1 spearman in. Oh no, he's going to try and pull this guy out, but he's going to get caught. He's going to get caught. No, he's actually not. The Babylonian player definitely wore the light pair of Jordans today, because he's managed to run straight past the Egyptians, these tubby little fellas. These guys, they remind me of my cats. They're so tubby. But anyway, population-wise, we got 15 to 21. So AlphaLeopard actually hasn't got anywhere near the villager count that Alundra is. Alpha has probably just been only producing his spearmen in the meantime. They only take 10 seconds to produce. The Babylonian spears take 12. So the Egyptian can pump out those spearmen a lot quicker, which is why they're a lot cheaper and weaker, so to speak. But Alundra, up until now, where I think he's actually housed, here we go, he's getting some more houses now, had done a bit better job at actually maintaining his villager production, which is really crucial at this stage of the game, because right now, with the 5 villager advantage, and the fact that he's got a dock, Alundra has a much greater gathering potential right now, and even though he might be a spear or two behind, unless Alpha actually engages with all the spears at once, it's not drastic for Alundra. And Alundra can actually probably even take this fight and just slowly kite his way back here, just try and snipe an individual spear one at a time and try and stagger his way out and actually turn this around. But I don't think he's going to do that. He's going to lose a couple of spearmen, but he is going to get the fishing boat out. I'm not sure if this is the best tactic though, because if Alpha follows him down, he's going to spot this, and then all of a sudden Alundra is not going to have this advantage. But for the time being, Alpha, unaware about that, Alundra is going to be able to get the value out of that. So, small villager advantage, 25 to 18. Ooh, actually, quite a reasonable villager advantage. And it's only grown that little bit wider. Alundra now with spearmen in production, while Alpha's only producing villagers. But the fact that there's going to be 2 fishing boats to 0. Oh no, here we go. Alpha has attempted to try and catch up on the water here, so this could be really good for him. If he can just pump out the fishing boats, he's got the wood. He's fighting nearly 10k, nearly a k wood. He could definitely get these fishing boats out and really make a lot of use of that. But he's instead got H2. In the meantime, Alundra has also got H2, but he's going to get the trireme out to try and clean this up, because the trireme is going to do great damage to the spearman, going to do great damage to the fishing boat, and Alundra, he's gone for a barreme himself. So Alundra has got the 2 fishing ships to repair all this, as well as all these really tanky Babylonian spearmen. He's even got Spearman Champion, so Alundra is going to have to be careful here, because these Spearman Champion, they get extra snare, they get extra damage when they've got this champion upgrade, and they're already much tankier than the Egyptian Spearmen, so they're going to be able to get a lot of value in this fight here. Alundra is really sort of widening the gap, I think. Right now it's 32 to 23 villager count. Ooh, AlphaLeopard getting off a good hit there. The triremes actually do hit a little bit harder than the biremes, but the biremes are a cheaper unit. They are also a little bit squishier. Alundra forcing Alpha to try and keep this trireme mobile, and Alpha has done a good job at microing it to get the hits out. Barreme only needs one more shot, and boom, it does go down. But in saying that, Alundra has mopped up the fishing ship, is going to force the cancel of another, force Alpha to get a trireme, and the villager is probably going to go down. So this is not good for AlphaLeopard. He's down by 20 population right now. He's lost all those early spearmen. He's actually having to get more food on the land now, because he's been denied here on the water wall. Alundra has those 2 fishing ships back at home, safe and sound. There are axemen though, and these axemen can clean up these spearmen, but there are also bowmen here for Alundra, and AlphaLeopard's going to have to try and micro down these bowmen, or these axemen are just going to fall really quickly, because they are going to take about a third of their health every bowman shot. So both players really having to force, really having their hands forced by one another here. And the trireme down to 1 health, now falling, so Alpha gonna lose his dock to Alundra's early push with the spearman and the barreme, and he's got some bowmen in the mix. I really like this actually. So rather than just going straight for the stables, he's actually worked in a small number of bowmen and then gone on the stables. So this is going to be really good for the Babylonian player, this nice 1-1-1 opening. AlphaLeopard doing what he can to catch up here. He's actually throwing down a whole bunch of production facilities, but I think he's only got the 1 villager doing all this, so it is going to take her... How long does that actually take? So 50, okay, so it's 200 seconds worth of building this villager had started out with all alone, which is crazy. That's 200 seconds in an RTS game, guys. That's like... Man, that's like your dad taking 5 years to get a packet of cigarettes. So this is a nice mixed composition here from the Babylonian. The only thing I don't like about it is there's no pharmacology just yet. Alundra does have the food to actually get pharmacology. And ooh, if there was a slightly bigger number of lancers there, they really could have done a lot of work there, because the axemen They work wonders against the spearmen, but they're not that good against the lancers. So I do like this wall of the houses here from Alpha. This is going to make it very hard for Alundra to try and come in here. He's forced to have to try and pinch these villagers off the barracks, but Alpha's got all this stuff AFK down here. Well, not AFK, just idling down here, standing around the barracks. Standing around the town centre. So the barracks not being finished up by those workers, and Alundra in a very nice spot here. The bowmen aren't being attacked by the slingers, so that's very, very bad for Alpha. He's losing so many units just as soon as they pop out here, and now the slingers come across to try and deal with these bowmen. There you go. So it takes 2 hits from the slingers to kill the bowmen, but it takes about 3 weeks for them to kill a spearman. So here's the camel riders coming in to try and clean up this cavalry, but they're just about all alone at this point. There is some more idle up here. So Alundra is really punishing AlphaLeopard in the early game of this. Alpha is probably going to lose that town centre. I don't know if he's going to give up though, because Alpha hates giving up. He's not one you'd call a quitter, that's for sure. So the town centre taken down by Alundra at about 70% done. So that's really going to hurt Alpha there, because he's got to get all that stone again. He's still got the wood, but if he was spending a little bit better than he is, he wouldn't have the wood to actually get a town centre at this stage. I think that's a GG. He's actually just messaged. Yeah, that's GG. Yeah, I think that's GG, guys. So Alundra has done it. He has nothing left. He's down to 13 workers. Yeah, there we go. GG, guys. So Alundra, just with the pressure out of that really, really early barracks there, even though he didn't get a huge amount of value in the beginning, I think he sort of forced AlphaLeopard's hand there, because Alpha did get a big bunch of spearmen, sort of made a bit of a cut to his workers there that didn't help him out at all, because Alundra just was able to afford so much more, take the dock, get on an equal number of spearmen, and then take a good fight up here. And it just all really snowballed from there, guys. So GG, well played to both players. Game number 2 today will be between Taz and Monero, I think. Cariudo is the name on Discord. Yeah, so there's already a pretty significant gathering difference there. Alundra actually getting 50% more resources by the end of the game. Obviously the difference is nowhere near that significant until workers and stuff start dying and whatever have you. So only 2 techs from the Babylonian player. But yeah, GG, guys. That's